La otra semana fui al Festival de Música Bilbao BBK. Oh, wait, sorry, I'm not in Spain anymore. Don't have to speak bad Spanish. Let me try again. The other week, I was at the music festival Bilbao BBK in Bilbao, Spain. And I have to say, I had an amazing time over there. I mean, wow, it's just an absolutely incredible festival. I really enjoyed myself, the whole thing was just great, and it's so different from the other festivals I've been to, most notably the Download Festival of the UK. Now, the main difference is, at the Download Festival, it's grander, it's got more space, it's in a field, several fields, it's got lots more commercial stands for buying and consuming things, and the people are more active and aggressive and more chaotic, whilst at BBK it's slightly different. It's in the mountains or the hillside, and it's a lot more smaller but in a more intimate, close kind of way, and the people there are much more relaxed, and they're more friendlier and more chilled out, and it just creates a nicer, better atmosphere to enjoy the actual music. And while I was actually in Bilbao, I saw some pretty curious things. Stuff like and of course I had the opportunity to see something like yeah, that's just so cool with the green walking man. And oh, what about this? Well, okay, maybe I'm getting a little bit off track with that last one. I managed to take a whole bunch of photos of my time at BBK Festival, so I put them on my Flickr account for you to actually access and take a look in your own leisurely time. I'll put a link at the bottom of this video for you to be able to click onto and see. And that way you won't have to actually watch this video. Please don't go. The music lineup that we had for the Bilbao Festival was very strong. The lineup including Skunk Anansi, Alice in Chains, Bida, Faith No More, Rammstein, Gomez, Slayer, Pearl Jam, and all these other bands were on top-notch form and absolutely a joy to watch. Well, except maybe Slayer, who are actually quite boring to watch. But they weren't exactly on top form when they were giving their performance. I hear tell that one of the band members has back problems or something like that, so I will let him off. And plus, they're old. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't know what. I'm sure it wasn't anything important. The festival goers, the people that actually had turned up to watch the shows, were all super friendly, and it composed of half the people were from Spain, or various areas of Spain, and the other half composed of mostly English British people, but also from other countries around the world. I was camping out with 5 of my other friends, and we actually managed to get to talking with one of our neighbours who were from Spain, all native Spanish speakers. In my group, I was the one who could speak the most amount of Spanish, so I ended up being a bit of a bridge gap between my English friends and these Spanish neighbours. And at first it was quite interesting an experience, because I spoke Spanish and it was to the point where at the start they didn't quite understand me. I don't know why, whether it's my forming of sentences or my accent, I don't know. And I couldn't quite understand them, mostly because of their accent, mostly because they were using so many words which I just didn't know. But the moment we all sat down, after a few hours, after many drinks, everything was free flowing and we all understood each other and we all had such a fantastic time. And I have to thank them for making our stay at Spain that much more pleasurable. The events didn't actually start going until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, to which it carried on, all the bands played until 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. And it's understandable really, because it's so hot in Spain that you just didn't want to do anything except sleep. Also, there was clearly people not just getting really drunk and merry, but also taking drugs and all sorts of things. But there was virtually no police around. It was people were free to do exactly what they wanted to do, legal or illegal, and they did it responsibly. And that attitude is so brilliant, and it's something which I am see very rarely in my own country. So after the festival was over, we had one spare day before me and my friends had to fly back home to England. So we hung around Spain, we hung around Bilbao for the day, and we decided to go to the big museum of the city, which the name escapes me right now, but I'll just probably post the name up here, or something like this. How about that? Can you see it? Can you see the name? If you want, you can do a Google search, I don't know. Which was actually a really interesting art museum type place. Lots of interesting art extracts. Some of it I did like, some of it I didn't like. But that was a cannon which shot out wax bullets, wax shells into the wall. Now if that's not modern art, I don't know what is. Also, we took the opportunity to go to a pub to watch the local football match, the World Cup between Spain and Holland, the final. But the thing is, there wasn't any interesting pubs or fully crowded pubs. We just found the nearest bar that we could to actually have a few of our drinks. And I have to say that I was actually rooting for Holland to beat Spain because, well, frankly, I had them as my team at the sweepstakes at my company. So I was really annoyed when they end up losing. It was a really violent game though. Well, football that is. I mean, if you want to compare it to other sports, like say, I don't know, rugby or American football, then that's actually a pussy game. Although that was a good shot in the chest, from what I remember. I really enjoyed that. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here. So, when Spain won the final cup, we decided to go outside and head back home because we were all tired. And we noticed that all the people suddenly appeared out of nowhere like zombies. Well, happy zombies. And they all swarmed towards the various fountains and plazas which were in the cities. And they all started cheering and dancing and singing on the streets, and cars driving around honking their horns, like people cheering and such, and people dancing in the fountains with joy. And the interesting thing is there was just no police around. They were so relaxed, and I found that a cultural shock, for me at least, because if it was back in England, the entire town would be surrounded by police even before the game started. So to see this in action was really quite nice. Although there was quite a freaky moment which happened, which featured a guy and a firework rocket. He grabbed onto this firework rocket and he lit it, and he held onto it for about 5 seconds. And then, I don't know, I guess he realised what it was and suddenly dropped it and ran away. And we saw this rocket just drop down and bounced and tipped, pointing directly at the fountain full of people. And it went off. And it missed the crowd of people by about this much. And it's like, oh my god, what happened? And after it exploded, there was like a moment of confusion. But then everyone started dancing and carried on like nothing happened. That was my experience in Bilbao BBK Music Festival. I really enjoyed myself. I loved going to a different country and comparing it. And it's kind of inspired me to go to festivals of different countries, not just Spain, just to see how they compare with the English festivals I've gone to. So I would really recommend going to the BBK Festival if there is such a strong musical lineup for you. And I just recommend going to different festivals from different countries, just so you can actually compare them and see how different they are. It's such an eye-opener, and I can pretty much guarantee you'll have a good experience. Well, you know, unless it goes horribly wrong, in which case you probably won't. But that's not my fault, that's not my responsibility, so you can't pin it on me. Oh yeah, that's right, there was something else I wanted to talk to about my new friend that I got the other week. But I've run out of time on this video, so I'm just gonna post a link at the bottom for you to go to a hot link. Or, better yet, you can click on my face. Yes.